Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, I am extremely grateful to you for permitting me to make a brief intervention before the Honorable Home Minister gives his reply to the debate that we have had yesterday on the very serious and grim situation in Assam for the last few weeks. Sir, at the very outset, the situation has been extremely serious. The seriousness itself has been reflected by the fact that in some of our most sensitive districts, there have been clashes between communities, and the effect of those clashes is that human lives have been lost, injuries have been caused, and people have been thrown out of their houses. You have 4 lakh or more people living in the relief camps. From the reports which have been coming in, it has become clear that the situation in the relief camps is certainly not an ideal one, more particularly because these camps had to be urgently created. The government has now said that it will have a CBI inquiry into this matter. While we sympathize with all those who have lost their lives and families, livelihood, houses, etc., I would only urge the government not to treat this case as a case where a simple crime has been committed. Obviously, if people are guilty, they must be investigated and punished. From all statements of the government and the Honorable Home Minister which have been coming, we miss out the real issue as to why this situation has taken place. Even if tomorrow we succeed in sending these people back to their villages and their homes by giving some kind of a relief to them, there is not a lurking but it is almost a certain doubt and apprehension in our minds that these incidents are likely to be repeated. I would therefore urge the Honorable Home Minister not to consider it as a law and order problem that so many people have been uprooted, so many people have been arrested, so many people have been sent back, and relief has been provided to so many people. This, of course, is the least that the government must do. The state government has completely failed. Please go into the root cause as to why this problem has taken place. If this problem gets repeated, the consensus not only on the state of Assam but also on India as a nation, our national identity, our personality, and even our geography are going to be severed. Sir, I don't want to take satisfaction by saying that my party had always said so. But is this not a normal or a natural consequence of the change or an unnatural change in the demography that has taken place in those regions? Demography has an impact on the economy. You take away land belonging to the people who are in the normal habitat in those areas. You impact on their place of work, agriculture, resources, and all this is accompanied by social tensions. those who have administered this country, those who framed our laws and constitution are conscious of this. We are conscious of the sensitivity of our tribal areas. We know it is the natural habitat of some people who can go buy land there and settle there. Yes, we are conscious of the sensitivities of those areas. My friend from Jammu and Kashmir yesterday was speaking vociferously. They are proud what they call Kashmiri earth and they want that it to be preserved. I can understand this sentiment. We may disagree on many issues, but I do not disagree with this sentiment. The Northeast, therefore, is a very sensitive region for India. The land connectivity between the Northeast and the rest of the country is very narrow. It is what we call the chicken's neck. The Northeast was one of the regions which was very badly affected due to India's partition. There was a lot of violence which took place on the western borders when the country was partitioned. The Northeast had different kinds of tribes, communities, and people, and they were very sensitive to this. This is one area where we really should not have had any political differences as to how to deal with it. Sir, the Congress party in Assam at the stage was led by a legendary leader. He is still very, very revered in that state. His name is taken with a lot of respect. What was his approach to this problem and what is your approach today? He wanted the personality of the Northeast, particularly Assam, its cultural identity, its linguistic identity to be retained. I was going through a resolution of the Assam Pradesh Congress Committee in 1945, immediately on the eve of independence, the Pradesh Congress Committee had said unless the province of Assam is organized on the basis of Assamese language and Assamese culture, the survival of Assamese nationality and culture will become impossible. This is what the then Congress party had said. So, even when you had the reorganization of states, the Congress party leadership at that time was fully conscious of the fact and rightly so that because of the sensitivities of the Northeast, the cultural identity, the linguistic identity of the region had to be maintained. There is nothing wrong in that. Now, this would obviously include people of various religions. At that time, besides the tribals, Assam had the majority community of the Hindus, the Muslims, the Christians, etc. But in terms of the cultural identity of that region, they wanted it to be preserved. Sir, unfortunately, somewhere post independence, the line which the Congress party took in Assam was altered by subsequent leaders of that party. They probably realized that the ethnic Assamese, the cultural Assamese vote was going away and therefore they were in search of an alternative vote bank. I do not want to repeat it, but some of the slogans which they gave were for the search of that vote bank. The Honorable Prime Minister is here. He represents the state of Assam for the last 21 years in this house.